program are those of the host, guest, and callers and are not necessarily those of KKNW, its management, or other advertisers. This program is sponsored by Marie Manuchehri.
Welcome to the Marie Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning. It is a drizzly, kind of foggy day here in Seattle. But it was kind of a relief, actually, to get some rain down on the grass and the plants.
We've had to cool things down a little bit.
I know.
You're on the air. You've got amazing people stopping by.
Yeah, but you know what? The sunshine in the studio today is amazing because we get to have the pleasure of interviewing, someone who I believe is on the leading edge of thought, which is one of my favorite things to do. A national treasure, in my opinion. We get to interview James Van Praagh.
Yeah.
He's going to be in Seattle September 27th doing an event, which we'll talk about. But before I bring him totally on the air I don't know anyone who doesn't know who he is, actually.
Like the mystic, the medium, the man. He's magical.
Extremely kind and generous and, just drenched in light. So for all of you that already know this, a New York Times bestselling author of over a dozen international bestsellers, including his his first book, Talking to Heaven, and his latest highly anticipated book, The Power of Love, Connecting to the Oneness. He's considered one of the most widely recognized and accurate spiritual mediums working today. A survival evidence medium, Van Praagh provides evidential proof of the life after death. Via highly detailed messages from the spiritual realm, he is hailed throughout the world as a pioneer of the mediumship movement. Welcome to the show, James.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you very much, Benny. I appreciate you being here and saying those lovely things about me.
Oh, they're so true.
That's so sweet because 40 years later, here it is.
I know. And, you've had the experiences that you've had in life.
Oh, my God.
Right?
It's just so many. It's just so many. When we're working with people, too, you get those little experiences of hundreds of thousands of people with their life situations. And it's really understanding the human being on so many ways.
On so many levels. One of my burning questions for you is...
Well, don't burn. Just be.
Okay. So one of my questions for you, and I love your humor. I didn't know you were so funny.
A lot of people say to me at the end of an event, gosh, are you a stand-up comedian?
Yeah,
I'm a comedian.
I love that. And when I talked to you briefly before we went live, I'm like, you're so happy. I can just feel your joy just oozing.
I just watered the garden. I have to be happy.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, you have affected millions of people around the world in so many different ways. People who have lost loved ones, people who are dying, and the fears that they've experienced, and countless, many, many others. I was curious, how has all this affected you personally in terms of your growth and consciousness and expansion?
Great question. Really, thank you for asking it. It's so different when I talk to a radio host who knows what they're talking about. So thank you, because it's such a relief. Because you can imagine, each reading I do, each message I give out, each person every person you meet in your life is either your student or teacher. And I've been fortunate to have a lot of people in different situations in life, and they've taught me. Every reading I do, I'm taught. I understand, but you experience even more and more and more. And it's taught me compassion. It's taught me empathy and compassion, and that everybody has a story, and that we have to respect everyone's story.
Wow.
And then we really have to love ourselves. We've got to live from the heart out. We've got to realize that everyone is God in their own way, and respect them accordingly. And, respect that about life, because the person in our lives who are, maybe upset us are our greatest teachers, because they're looking at something within us, or we're reflecting something that has to be healed. So I've learned all of these things through people. And so really I have such gratitude for
Wow. That's a lot to learn, right?
It's a lot to learn, and I'm part psychologist, part I'm a religious minister, priest, and part doctor. Everything. Wear many hats as a medium.
You have a great love for the Catholic. I should say like monuments or churches or
ritual.
Yeah,
I'd say more ritualistic. When I was a little boy, I was raised Catholic. I went to be a priest once at seminary, but they didn't want me. No.
Thank goodness! I'm so glad they didn't want you. I'm so glad.
That was when I heard my first voices. I was 14, and I went to this preparatory seminary, and you had to sit and kind of, I guess, they pray, and there's a little side altar. And I heard a voice say, "You must. God is bigger than this. God is outside these four walls. You must go now and find God outside these four walls."
Wow.
And I quit and went to a New York public high school, and it was the best time ever.
Wow. Wow. So is one of the reasons why, because happiness is a choice, at least in my perception it is,
Yeah.
and sometimes, that choice can be really hard to navigate.
Exactly right.
Right? But is that one of the reasons why when you're watering your garden, you just really let yourself feel the cellular energy of your plants and the flowers?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, there is that oneness that we all have, that we share, that the prana, the energy of life that we all have. It's not separate from anyone. We all have it. Plants have it. Animals have it. People all over the world have the exact same energy. They might have different life experiences and different color faces or speak different languages, but we're all one.
Right.
And when I water my garden, you're so funny. You get very psychic. Because I'm out there watering, but I'm also sending love as the water's touching the plants. I'm sending them love, and they speak back to me.
They do.
Tell me when they need food. They tell me. Yeah.
They're like waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like, when's James
and they have so much
coming
gratitude
out?
to me. So thank you for the water. Thank you for the food.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So is your mother now on the other side?
My mother's on the other side. She's been there a long time. She's been
Oh,
since
wow.
1982.
Because, I mean, from what I've read, and I saw a movie about your life many years ago.
Ted Danson.
Yes, thank you. Beautiful
He
movie.
played me because Tom Selleck wasn't available. No, just joking.
No, that was a beautiful movie, actually. Very
It was
interesting.
a great movie, wasn't it?
Excellent.
That was
excellent
written
movie.
by the man that wrote the Broadway show Agnes of God. He came to my house when I was living in Laguna Beach, and we sat for a whole week and went over the story, the idea, and he was so collaborative, and it was great. I thought, and he did such a good job.
He
and,
did.
Jake Gyllenhaal's father directed that.
Wow.
And he did an incredible job. Ted didn't really want to do it, but he talked him into it.
Oh, well, thank goodness he did, because it was a beautiful movie. Yeah. And the impression that I got in the movie that you were extremely close to your mother.
I was very close to my mother. I was very close. I'm very much like her in many ways, my sense of humor and my eyes, and my personality is very much like her.
Oh.
And, and it was a hard one because I was promised a job in Los Angeles. I just graduated from broadcasting in San Francisco.
Wow. Well, you have the voice for broadcasting. You absolutely do. Yeah.
And I went back to New York where I lived, and I was promised a job on a Hill Street Blues TV show.
Oh, wow.
Production work. So I had to go back to New York, collect all my things, buy a used car for $3,000. Who knows? I saved up my pennies. And I had to be back to L.A. by July 7th to get this production, at MTM Production. And my mother had a stroke in New York at the time. And she couldn't speak, and she was in the hospital. And I had to get out. I had to start driving across country. So I had a test right there. Okay, do I stay here or do I go to California to follow my dream? And I knew, of course, she wanted me to follow my dream, so I had to leave her, which was very hard.
Would.
And I got to L.A. And found out that the guy that was promised me the job was dishonest, and there was no job waiting for me in Los Angeles. So I had to make ends meet. I'd never been there, and I knew anybody, and it was interesting.
But California's your home, correct?
Yes, I lived in California more than New York. I've lived here for 30 years.
Wow. And you love it. I mean, it
I
is
love it.
truly home for you.
Love it. I live in San Diego. I live in Encinitas.
Oh, San Diego's gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's where Parayanda Yogananda created yoga in the, I think it was 30s, with a self-realization center down here. Wow. And you walk down the street of Encinitas, and you feel this vibe of just openness and, I'd say, mindfulness with everyone that lives here. So it's a surfing community and outdoors. So, yeah.
And I'm sure they love you. It's probably hard to
they do the happy
grocery shop and all of that stuff is probably a little, like.
Yeah, they accept it here. Everyone's a medium where there's yoga studios every block,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So as a medium, do you get to talk to your mom?
I don't.
Oh.
I don't. Because the reason why is because any medium it's hard for any medium because you're so connected there.
Right.
So it's hard to know when you can separate your own personal stuff from that's outside of you.
Right.
Now, every once in a while, I'll get a thought sent to me very strongly. I know it's her personality behind that thought.
Yeah.
But it's, am I thinking of it or is it her herself? So,
I'm sure it's her. She adores you. So, I mean, I'm sure she's working overtime sending impulses of love towards you all the time.
She's been in my corner every time. I have a school online called the JVP School of Mystical Arts. And it's very funny because I had the students try to do a reading for me, and they would say, everyone, your mother's right next to you. I said, yes. She's a guide, yes.
She loves you. She just loves you. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you recently launched the James Van Praagh School of Mystical Arts, which is a labor of love for you, years in the making, that offers a variety of multimedia online learning experiences from professionals. It gives you a certification. Oh, it just sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was 41 courses, and it covers a 28-day transformation course. We just launched, it's so incredible. We just launched a spiritual life coach certification course.
Oh, wonderful.
I thought they were life coach courses, but nothing spiritual. So that's been going crazy. That's been burning up. People love that. And I just finished an astrology course, which I'm going to put up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And that consists of like 60 videos and all this, so much detail. But people should go on the JVP School of Mystical Arts, and they'll find everything from meditations to intuition, mediumship, to transformation, to setting boundaries, the whole thing. It's right there. It's my legacy. I want to leave a legacy. So
well, you're going to be here for a while, but we
I know.
appreciate all of the legacy that you leave us.
I know. I still got work to do.
So in that comment that you just made, is that something you look for is when you get to leave your body?
Yeah, oh God.
Really?
I can't wait.
Oh.
I had a near-death experience about 15 years ago,
mm-hmm.
and it was one of the most incredible experiences ever, and I was out of my body, and my head hit the counter in the bathroom. I was sick, and I went, and it just hit, and I went down on the floor. And I won't go into grisly details, but I popped out of my body. I'm looking down. I was immediately aware that there's no time and space. I was like suspended animation.
Wow.
And it was, I was like, what am I doing here? I don't need to be. What is this happening? And I saw my cousin Patricia, who I hadn't talked to since she completed suicide many years before.
Wow.
And she said, I looked at her, and we telepathically communicated. And I said, is it, what's going on? She goes, don't worry, it'll be all over. I said, you mean over, or over? And she laughed. And then my father was in the garden with a rose, and I bent down. He goes, it's not your time to go back. So I went back, and I woke up, and I heard a friend of mine was there, and said, James, wake up. And I said, yeah. And I said, and he goes, wait, can you speak? I said, yes. Living is easy. Dying is easy. Living is hard.
Yeah.
First words out of my mouth.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm so happy somebody was there with you. I'm so happy your family came to your aid and told you, sorry, you can't depart yet, James.
Yeah, a lot of work to do.
Well, and here's, part of the reason, because there isn't a lot of people who have the gifts and talents that you have on the planet, number one, but who also can go live on national television shows and radio shows and hold that space and that energy and maintain their connection. I mean, you've been on Oprah, Larry King, Live, Dr. Phil, 48 Hours, The View. I mean, and we could go on and on. Yeah. And our world is changing.
You think?
Yeah. So we need people like you to remind everyone, that who can hold that space.
My first teacher who recognized that I had this ability. I didn't believe in any of this.
Really?
No, I didn't believe in any of it. I went with a friend who was working with a temporary job. She said, do you want to go see a medium? When I was, 24. And she said, I said, oh, okay, I don't know, believe in it, but I'll go with you just to humor her. So I went to this man's apartment, Brian Hurst, his name is, in Manhattan Beach, California. Walked in there, and he looked at me and he goes, you're a medium. And I said, oh, I thought I was a small thing. And he said, in 2 years' time, the spirit world are going to use you to help to change the consciousness of the planet. I'm like, oh, come on, I just want to be a sitcom writer. But he went through and he did some incredible detailed messages, and he got my interest going. So I read as many books as I could on life after death and meditation, just to find out more information. And then I found out about a month later, I started seeing auras around people, like colors, and knowing things about them. And I remembered, that's a baby or a child, toddler. I used to see colors and people in my room.
Wow.
So then I was working some jobs, and because he said to me in that original meeting, in 2 years' time, the spirit world are going to use you to change the consciousness. So I went through a series of temporary jobs, and I eventually worked at Paramount Studios in their contract department for TV. And this girl came into her cubicle next to me, and I saw a dead lady behind her, this woman, grandmotherly woman. And she looked at me, and she telepathically said, this is my granddaughter. I lived in a house in Idaho. She came to visit me every summer, and tell her about the needlepoint. So I said, okay. So I asked my friend, I think she'd be very cool, she did astrology. So she said, yes, that's my grandmama. We made a promise that when she passes over, she'll come back and let me know she's okay. And she lived in Idaho. That was her house, and she taught me needlepoint, and we made a footstool cover together.
Oh.
So I freaked out, ran out of that place, never went back, and I didn't know who to call because I was seeing dead people. And at that time, in the early 90s, no one knew about it. No one, or late 80s, no one really talked about it.
Right.
So I didn't know what to do because people thought I'd be crazy because I was dead people. So I called up that Brian Hurst, the teacher, the good man, and he said, well, James, don't worry. Do you remember the spirit world, what they said to you? I said, no. He goes, they said they'll be helping you in 2 years' time. I said, oh, that's right. He said, James, 2 years ago is today.
Oh, my gosh.
The exact day.
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
I just love that you even knew to call the right person instead of, like go to your doctor and go, I think I'm going crazy.
Well, yeah, I
Right?
didn't know who else to call because he has the understanding of it. I don't think anyone else would have had the understanding.
I think it's beautiful, and I love that you've had this desire even before you knew you were a medium to work in television. That you wanted to do sitcoms and write.
Yeah, I wanted to write sitcoms. I was always good in, before camera. I number one broadcasting honors in my high school.
Wow.
And college, and I've always been good at that. And of course, I had television shows, and I became a producer and did Ghost Whisperer.
I know.
Yeah.
Beyond.
And Beyond.
Beautiful.
Beyond,
Living with the Dead. That's the movie based
The
on
Dead
your
Will
life
Tell.
story.
This is a good story. The Dead Will Tell. I did with Longoria and Anne Heche.
Oh,
That was the second movie I
beautiful.
did.
And then Ghost Whisperer starring.
And Ghost Whisperer. But the thing with Eva Longoria, it's pretty funny. She
Really?
came up to me and she said on the set, she said, "Listen, I just finished a pilot. Can I ask you if it's going to do anything?" I said, "What's the name of it?" She goes, "Desperate Housewives." I said, "Oh, it's going to change your life."
Oh my gosh! And it did.
Yes, years later, I was filming Ghost Whisperer, and the next stage next to hers, and I'm in the cafeteria at Universal, and I'm sitting down, and she's walking down the aisle, and our eyes meet, and she starts screaming, and I start screaming, and I ran over to her and I said, "Well, was I right? Did it change your life?"
Oh, I just love it. I just think that's really.
I've had so many of those wild experiences and fun experiences. Yeah, it's been wild.
and then you still do popular Hay House Radio every
I
Tuesday
do, yes,
at
I'm
11.
one of the top Hay House radio hosts on every Tuesday morning at 11 and Pacific time.
Spirit
And I'm also
Speaks.
doing podcasts, which is doing really well. People love this. It's called Psychic Insights for the Modern World.
Oh, wow.
And we cover all different topics. It's pretty amazing.
Wow. Well, one of the books you wrote is my all-time favorite book. And I've read, a lot of spiritual books. I love all your books, but one of them is just like I have multiple copies. I give it away to people, and I'm talking to heaven. It's just
that's the Bible. That's the Bible.
It's just so incredibly beautiful. So when you're writing, and I'm sure this is true, but I'm sure our audience would love to hear this from you. Do you feel like everyone on the other side is just oozing you with light and deliciousness and gold, and you're infusing the material?
Yes. What happens, it's very funny, Marie. It's very funny because each book is very, very different. And how I approach it is different, and how Spirit approaches it is different. And the energy before I do a book, and I don't even know, I'm doing a book sometimes. Like I wrote a book, Growing Up in Heaven, and that was about children who passed over.
I know.
And I was in my office, and most of these spirit children all around me. I'm like, "Okay, what are you doing here?" And they said, "We're going to help you write your next book." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, and I feel my guides, but there are different guides for different books as well that will come through. And a lot of it, of course, is channeled because all of our work we do like that is all books are channeled. And
right.
yes, it's pretty amazing. And each one is such a different vibration. They're all wonderful in their own way. They're all my children, but it's I take a lot of pride and passion with my work. So.
Well, it shows. Obviously, it shows beautifully. But yeah, that book. Every time I walk past a bookshelf and I see that title, it just my whole body, is just I'm very, very happy and soothed.
And when the cover of that book is a blue sky with white clouds.
I know.
I got that cover. I always work for my cover first. And
really?
Yeah. And right now I have a writer's course on the school too. The JP
really?
School. And we have a second time of this writer's course. We have about 400 people, and I help people to get a book published and get them all from the beginning outline all the way through.
Wow.
And it's been great. But the first thing I always tell them is I work from the cover. So I was literally flying over Brasilia, Brazil. I looked out the window, and those cumulonimbus clouds are everywhere. And there's a cover right there.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's how I came up with that
Just
cover.
the universe talking to you constantly.
Yeah, I'm closer to heaven.
You basically walk in between worlds all day long, right?
I exist between worlds. It's a great way of saying it.
Yeah,
Very
it's true. So your most recent book, at least if I'm reading this correctly, is The Power of Love, Connecting to Oneness.
Yeah, but the most recent actually is Wisdom from Your Spirit Guide.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that came out after Power of Love.
Oh,
but
okay.
I love Power of Love more.
You do?
Power of Love. See, Power of Love is like the next talk into heaven. It really is.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's a simple book, Power of Love, but it's, the truth is simple. The human beings always try to make it more complicated than it needs to be. They get caught up in the complexity of the simplicity, right?
Right.
So it's love or fear. That's how we live. The choices we make, love or fear. And it's just a great book telling, simply put, how you can choose love instead of fear to live your life.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. So one of the reasons why I'm blessed to have you on the show today is because you are going to be in Seattle on September 27th.
I am for a very special time.
Yes, you are. It's a Friday, 7 to 9 p.m., an evening of spirit messages with James Van Praagh. And,
and Tony Stockwell, who's an international
Ooh.
comedian from England,
Oh.
who's one of the big teachers at the Arthur Findlay College, which is like Hogwarts.
Oh, yes.
Media.
I've heard of that college many, many times. Yes,
Yes,
beautiful.
and he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal medium, and we work really well together. We do but something which not many mediums are able to do.
Right.
We do what's called a double link, and we'll tune into one spirit,
Really?
both of us, and we both get different information from that one spirit to the person in the audience.
Oh, I've never heard of that term, double link.
Double
How
link,
fun.
yeah, you're linking with the spirit.
How
Yes,
fun.
great.
What? That just sounds amazing. So there's actually the events, they're all special.
Yep.
And there's one between 6 and 6:30 where they meet and greet
right.
with you. They get to have an opportunity to meet you personally, enjoy appetizers, mingle with other premier.
Bring books to sign.
Bring
Sure.
books to sign, ticket holders. And then the main event is between 7 and 9. You're going to be teachings of love and encouragement to Seattle, which is really great.
I love working in Seattle.
Oh, do you?
It's
Well,
so
could
great.
you move here, please?
Well, I mean, down in Encinitas, just settling here, so.
No,
But
I know, of course.
I love Seattle. They're very open-minded, and it's just great. I love going there.
And for anybody who wants to get those tickets before they're sold out, they can go to eastwestbookshop.com. They're putting on the event. And the event will be at the Seattle First Baptist Church, though, because they need a big room, lots of space for all the people who are going to come and witness you. So besides watering your garden to get in that joyful vibration so that you can talk to heaven all day long and let them love you to pieces, what else do you like to do?
Well, yeah, I just want to say with that we just said about love, it is that vibration of love that brings them in. So it's the love of the recipient that comes to the audience and wants to have that desire of love. And the spirit that has the love. So I really work from that loving energy, and that's really the highest vibration we have, so I work from that. So what else do I do? Well, right now I'm writing a musical.
Oh,
or attempting to write a
really?
musical. So it's called The Tree of Life.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm trying to get Elton John to do the lyrics.
Oh,
He's a big fan, and hopefully he'll be available. I don't know. Try. And
I can't imagine him saying no. I mean,
no, he has all my books. He's a big fan. So I'm like, oh my God, it's Elton.
maybe you can bribe him a little bit. Like, I'm going to write this other book, and I'll let you read it as I'm writing it. Maybe
Really?
I don't know.
That would be like another solar system. So I do that, and I love let's see what else. I love decorating my house and a little bit like here and there, and now I have the time to be it because I'm kind of quasi semi-retired. So getting those outside furniture going and a rug here, and I do that. I love to read, and I love to watch true crime.
Do you
Sounds
really?
bizarre. Yeah.
So I know that your psychic ability goes, of course, talks to all the dead people, and I'm just using that as a definition of who someone is. But I mean, you have solved crime
Oh,
before.
yeah, I used to work with the FBI, and I used to work with the other police agencies.
Wow.
I did that before it was known project. I didn't want to go public. I couldn't go public with that.
Yeah, I didn't know
But,
that you did
Yeah,
that.
and that's the movie you're talking about.
Right.
With the dead, which was
I know, that
great.
was an amazing movie. I mean, you helped them capture a serial killer.
Yeah,
It was-
that was based on a story, that actual case I did.
oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
So
missing girl.
does that scare you when you do
You know what?
that?
I was doing it. I was doing fine until this. Well, you'll see because that movie. This 3-year-old girl was missing in Louisiana, and I picked up that there was a man driving and described the man, the vehicle, and she was sitting. I saw a picture of it. She was sitting next to him on the right side, and she was crying. And he said, "Shut up!" And he said, "Bueno," and he slapped her.
Oh.
I was like, that freaked me out. And then I saw him hit her over the head with that long shovel,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how he killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the most horrific thing I've seen. And after that case, and he buried her, by the way. That's the correlation with the movie. And after that, I couldn't do that anymore. I said, I can't
Wow.
do it grizzly. I can't. I can do it when they're over on the other side, but I can't
Sure.
do the pain of that.
I mean,
That's
that just
too
sounds
much.
so scary.
But
you
I
know?
watch true crime only because I try to find out psychologically, how do these people come to that point? I'm like, what? It's like how does this happen? I was going to be a psychologist, actually. early on,
Wow. Well,
too.
you are.
Well, I really
mean-
kind of am, right? So
Yeah.
I just find the human mind very interesting, like people personalities and like what the foundations from the family, what the generations from the family, genetic things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I find it very fascinating. Just a fascinating point of view.
Wow.
Sad, but
Very sad. Yes, very sad. And fascinating, like you said.
He does it all. James does
yeah,
it all.
James, you
Like,
do it all. Yeah, you do it
The
all.
human animal is nothing like it, I'll tell you.
Right?
Well, we have so enjoyed you coming onto the show today.
Oh, you are my favorite people. I tell you, you're so great. You're so aware. And thank you for having me on and sharing your life.
It was
too.
our pleasure, and I know, of course, as always, all your events will be completely sold out. So make sure, everybody, that you go to eastwestbookshop.com and get your tickets so that you can spend time with James on September 27th and read more of your books. I'm going to go buy 2 more books, by the way, James.
Thank you, School of Mystical Arts. I love that.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you, and have a beautiful day in San Diego.
Marie. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we're going to take a break here on the Marie Manuchehri Show. We'll be right back.
'Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you.
Hi, this is Marie Manuchehri, and I just wanted to share that an amazing event will be occurring in late September, September 28th, here in Seattle, between 9 and 4:30 p.m., a one-day power workshop, How to Manifest Health, Wealth, Love, and Opportunities with James Van Praagh. Currently, there is an overwhelming desire by people to learn how to tap into the inner guidance system and take control of their lives. When one begins to recognize themselves as spiritual beings and learn how to use their natural ability of intuition, life becomes not only easier and more fulfilling, but much more enjoyable. James Van Praagh will guide you through illuminating meditative and practical exercises to open you up to the spiritual core of your being. Discover how you can cut the cords of helplessness and allow your self-esteem to emerge in order to let the vibrant energy of you shine through in the present. Please join one of the world's most renowned healers and spiritual teachers and begin to live the life you were meant to live. This event is held at Seattle's First Baptist Church. For more information, please visit eastwestbookshop.com.
Alternative Talk 1150. We're on your radio at 1150 a.m. We're on your HD radio at 98.9 Channel 3.
So many ways to listen.
We're on the web at 1150kknw.com, streaming live audio and video as well as MP3 archives of many of our shows.
So many ways to listen.
And now, we're on your smartphone or tablet. Download our free app in the Apple App Store or Google Play and take Alternative Talk 1150 anywhere you go.
So many ways to listen.
Communicating with our loved ones living on the other side is a normal process that we were all meant to do. The other side vibrates on a high energetic vibration, as do all the beings, including your spirit guides living on the other side. Join Marie for a 2-day workshop, November 9th and 10th, as you learn the necessary tools to increase your energetic vibration, allowing you to hear, see, and feel those living in the spirit world. Go to energyintuitive.com for more information about the workshop.
October is Marie's favorite time of year to teach Reiki. This fall may seem far away, but this magical and transformative course fills up fast. Each year, Marie joyfully shares the origins of her energy medicine work. Marie has been blessed with helping thousands heal, physically, mentally, and spiritually for nearly 2 decades with the energy healing modality of Reiki, a Japanese form of vibrational healing. Its origins are ancient, but its power is compassionate and all-knowing. Join Marie October 25th through 27th for this 2.5-day transformative workshop in Redmond, Washington, and meet like-minded individuals while learning the art of vibrational healing. For more information, go to energyintuitive.com.
Alternative Talk 1150 online at 1150kknw.com.
Saturday night in the summer, sundown and they all come out. Lamborghinis and they rented hummus. The party's on, so they're heading downtown.
And welcome back to the Marie Manuchehri Show. We're live here in Seattle, and we're taking people's calls. So who do we have?
We are, and we are very appreciative for having everyone stay on for the first half of the show with James on Praagh.
you.
And so, yeah, super cool. So we'll jump right into it. We have Nicole calling in from Delaware. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, hearing
Hi,
your voice makes me
Nicole.
smile.
Oh, you're so sweet. How's Delaware?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's sunny. We're at the beach.
Oh, yay! That sounds great. It's raining here right now, but which I watered my lawn quite a bit yesterday, and then I wake up and I'm like, could have skipped that. It wasn't in the forecast, but that's okay. So what can I do for you?
It doesn't rain. I thought to call you last week because my 13-year-old started getting major swollen lymph nodes behind her ear.
Oh, okay.
And in the back of her head.
Interesting.
Neck. So I took her to the doctor. Nurse practitioner looked at her. She had no other symptoms. And then when consulted the doctor and came in and asked if she'd been around cats.
Oh.
We don't have a cat, and she hadn't been around a cat. And I knew exactly what they were going for.
An allergy.
Cat scratch fever.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's otherwise known as Bartonella, which is also a Lyme co-infection.
Oh, interesting.
And I have a long history of chronic Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, my heart sank into my gut.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been over a week now, and it's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, maybe
we should talk. So do you know my definition of Lyme's disease in terms of energy?
If you've told me, I don't recall.
Okay. And you can disagree with me, right? You don't have to agree with anything I say. Here's what I think, and I would not think of this about you from listening to your voice, but I think that a lot of people who get autoimmune disorders, and particularly Lyme's, tend to think really negatively. Would you say that you do that?
Oh, well, I've been bent to be that way, but I'm working hard.
Good. I'm glad you are. So let's not let this creep over to other generations, right? Let's think positively. Let's think so what happens is the third layer of the auric field is called the mental plane, right? So all of our thoughts live on the mental plane. And if you have a lot of negative thoughts, though the mental plane has a strong relationship to the third chakra, which governs the immune system. So that low vibration of the negative thinking will seep into that third chakra and start to break down the immune system. So we need to be positive.
Yes.
Yes?
I work hard on it.
Okay, so tell me what you do that, and I believe you, but what do you do to be positive? Like, what happens? What do you do?
Well, it's a ton of self-thought because I'm just wired to worry.
Well, no, you're not. It's just a pattern. You're not wired to do it. It's just a pattern. It's not who you are.
My nervous system is like sponge sugar.
Well, yeah. I mean, so when you think a lot, in a way, you're of course then affecting your nervous system, but this is not who you are. I think what will be fun if you start to question who you really are and not get caught up in some old belief system about who you think you are. I think that could be fabulous. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, sure. It's the difference between the head and what's inside.
Yes. So you know exactly what to do. I just would love it if you be just a little bit more focused on doing it. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
Okay.
Of course it does.
and I think what's going to help you even more is to recognizing, because children do. How old is your daughter?
13.
13. What a cutie, by the way. She's a cutie pie. And start eating a lot of celery. Even do some juicing of celery. It detoxifies the lymphatic system. It's a fabulous healer. If you guys like celery and your body likes it. Think about that kids, until they're like 16 to 17 years of age, they're absorbing the energy of their parents because they're trying to figure out, and it's mostly unconscious, they're trying to figure out how to operate in the world. So know that every single time you flip your energy into that place that you know so well, that inner being loveliness of yours, that your daughter is learning to rest in that place too, which will be great for her lymph nodes. So try not to get caught up in the titles or what the nurse practitioner said. I mean, I love you went to the doctor, you're doing all the right things, but let's not go down that fearful road of something.
Okay.
Okay? Think you can do that?
Okay. But can you see anything?
I think she's fine.
You do think she's fine?
I do. And I want you to start thinking that, and I want you to teach her to think that so that she can be in a different vibration with her body.
Yes. I'm much better than I was. I promise.
I believe you. I absolutely 1,000% believe you. I know it's true. But let's just take it up another notch.
Okay.
Or two. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. Have a gorgeous day on the beach in
Thank
Delaware.
You, Marie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks very much. And let's just go to another one. Let's do it.
Okay.
Patty from Illinois. Patty, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Patty. Are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sort of good, but I'm calling because I'm not good.
Is this your first time calling into the show?
No, I've actually called. This is my third time calling.
Really?
In.
Was it helpful?
Yes, and I cannot tell you. I love the what if questions.
Oh, good.
I have shared them. I use them all the time when I walk. I'm always what if this, what if that.
I love you. I use them personally. I use them all day long myself, constantly. Okay, go ahead. What can I do for you?
They're amazing.
Good. I'm so glad. Now just make me finish that book. Just put some heat under my...
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, put the heat underneath my tush so that I can finish writing that book, all right? I'm sure the editor wants me to, too, so let's get going on that. Okay.
I just know you'll do it at the perfect time.
Thank you.
It's going to be
I've been
perfect.
having so much fun walking my dog, because you have to walk a dog like twice a day, and so, I'm just having too much fun with the dog, so my tush is not sitting down long enough. Okay, so what can I do for you?
So I'm watching my granddog this week, and I'm walking him twice a day, so I know exactly what you mean.
Isn't it fun?
Yes. So, okay. So I have a wonderful naturopathic functional medicine holistic doctor, and he wants me to take adrenal support, and I am taking adrenal support.
Good.
But my question, I'm having a reaction. When I'm on the adrenal support, I love it. I feel fantastic. And then I'll wake up in the next morning, and I'm sort of like getting this throbbing in my throat or my chest.
Interesting.
And he knows about it.
Uh-huh.
And so I wondered if one of my chakras is off. So then I back off of the adrenal support.
And it goes away.
I'm taking the HPA.
You are? Because that's my favorite one. And even naturopaths love that one. That's my favorite one. Are you taking...
He loves it. I showed him. I brought the bottle.
It's such a good product. Yeah, it really is. So is that the only one you're taking too?
He had put me on a biotics one. And so when I get too much of a reaction from this one, then because I need something. Otherwise, I just sort of sink into the ground.
And so when do you take the HPA? What time of day?
Like yesterday, I took it at like 2:00.
No. So this is the rule. And then we'll see if those symptoms go away. And I'm so glad you're seeing a naturopath because I'm not a naturopath or a nutritionist,
I know.
Right? So this is important. Yeah. Take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach.
Okay.
And how many capsules are you taking?
I just took one yesterday.
Okay. Well, that's probably a good idea because you can take up to 4, depending on how much you need, according to the label. And, of course, your naturopath will know exactly what dosage would be best for you. But, I think the one is a great idea since you're noticing potentially. We don't know if these are side effects or not. We don't know for sure. But don't take it after, 10 in the morning because it's meant to work. What it's doing is it's helping to change the way your adrenal glands and your cortisol levels are functioning in your body. So it's helping you to move your biorhythm in a place where you have energy during the day and you sleep well at night. That's what happens when you feed the adrenals really well. One of the positive side effects, right, is to have the energy that you want during the day and then be able to fully rest at night. So when you take it too late in the day, you're potentially kind of confusing your biorhythm. Does that make sense?
Oh.
So let's see. Let's see if it changes. If you, as you start taking in the morning, let's see if that changes that kind of shocking feeling. Because I feel like almost shocked when you talk about it, almost like, oh, something happened when nothing happened, but your body's having this interesting response. So let's see if that goes away.
That's exactly. I wake up, it's like around 5, 6 in the morning, and I have that sensation, and I get scared.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, too. So I think it could be, I don't know 100% if it's related to the HPA or not, but I do know for sure that taking it late in the day is not a good idea. Morning, first thing when you wake up on an empty stomach.
Okay, great. Okay. All right, great.
Thank you. Have a gorgeous day.
Oh, thanks, Marie, so much.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Thanks, Patty, for joining us. 877-825-8828 is the number. We'll take now Allie calling in from Maryland. Hi, Allie.
Hello?
Allie.
Hi, Allie.
How are you?
We're great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
You're doing okay.
I am having back surgery today. And
today?
It's
Did you say today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Later today.
Okay. What time? What time's your back surgery? Because here's what I'm going to do right now. Because, I loved nursing. I miss the hospital every day, even though obviously the job I have now I love more. But I miss it. I'm going to send energy to the OR, to all the surgeons, the circulating nurses, everything in the OR, all the medicine and the tools and everything. High vibrational energy for your surgery today.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have it in 3 hours.
Oh, my gosh. Now, I could be wrong, but it feels to me, I know you won't feel this way because surgery is surgery, but it feels a little minor. Is that true?
It is pretty.
Okay.
I mean, it's back surgery, but yeah, it's only going to be a 2-hour thing, and then I'm walking tomorrow. So
great.
It's kind of minor.
Because I just don't want them in there playing around too much. I mean, sometimes, I don't want them hanging out there in your spinal everything too long.
Right.
So this is great. So I'm going to send all that energy to them. I'm already doing it right now so that it's all prepped and ready for you,
gosh,
and everyone will be in a good mood and happy and sing as they look at your beautiful back and fix everything perfectly so you can, walk the next day beautifully the way you want to walk. Okay, so was that your question? What was your question?
It's been about like a year, and I want to make sure the surgery works, right, and the pain doesn't come back. So I was just wondering if there's something I need to be thinking about or fixing.
I do think they're going to do a good job. I'm not always a fan of back surgery because, here's the deal with the spine. It's a complicated, beautiful piece of machinery in the human body, right? It's fabulous. It's all these gorgeous vertebrae and a spinal cord, and it's just stunning. All the nerves, it's just beautiful, but it's complicated. And here's the energetic reason why it's complicated. And this is the part, in my opinion, that you still need to work on. But, of course, there are things that all of us will work on for our entire lives, right? The spine, from an energetic perception, is about aligning to the divine and getting out of the way. And you don't do that very well, in my opinion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to
From a high level, yeah.
Pardon?
From a high level, I understand, yeah.
But do you see how maybe you try to control things in your life, or you want them a certain way, or you get easily disappointed if things don't turn out the way you want them to, or annoyed or frustrated? Does any of that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're supposed to do when we're in the highest vibration of the spinal cord and all those beautiful vertebrae is we're supposed to get out of the way and align to the divine, align to God, which kind of or whatever word you like. I love the G word. But it kind of reminds me of when, we were talking to James Van Praagh a little while ago, and he didn't know he was a medium, which I didn't even know that story. Honestly, I didn't know that piece. And yet someone told him, okay, you're a medium, and in 2 years, the universe is going to help you with this. And he could have really blocked all of that, he really didn't believe it, but he somehow eventually aligned to the will of the divine and got out of the way. So you don't have to even know what you're blocking or holding back or what you're afraid of, because really what we're afraid of, all of us, is our magnificence. That's truly our real, honest to goodness fear. We can describe it in any way we want to. It can look like all kinds of unique ways on the human realm, but we're really scared of our magnificence. So I would love it if you start using the what if question. What if I let go, get out of the way, and align to my magnificence?
Yeah.
Okay?
I like that.
Okay. And I'm sending love to your back and the OR and lots of kisses. And I wish you
Thank you so much.
A very healthy, happy, successful surgery today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thanks, Allie, for joining us. 877-825-8828. We'll just run off to another one. We're just whipping through them. Is it Itata?
Etta?
Etta, thank you. I was way off.
That's a cool name.
We need to work on that.
And Etta,
Thanks, Etta. Sorry.
You're here in Seattle.
I am.
Yeah. Is this your first time calling in?
It is.
I can kind of tell when people are calling for the first time because there's just little hesitation in their voice, which, hey, I don't blame you. I'm a chicken. I would, I was actually even at, I took a cruise to Alaska with a dear friend of mine. I've been wanting to go on this cruise for like 10 years and nobody would go with me. And I actually didn't want to take my children and pay for them because I think at the time I was still paying for college, so I'm like, I don't want to take you on a cruise right now. So, and it was an Esther Hicks event. And I did have 2 questions that I wanted to ask her. I never raised my hand once, too chicken. And luckily, other people asked my question and she answered them. So that was great. So I'm very proud of you. I just want you to know, I think you're brave. So what can I do for you?
Well, gosh, well, thanks for taking my call. I kind of just, I guess I feel like telling you how I found you. My sister actually started to see a healer, and then she recommended your book to me, Intuitive Self-Healing, and I finally read it very recently, and I could not put it down. I'm actually like 10 pages from being done. I've like binge listened to your podcast for like the last 8 months.
Did you run out of them yet? Because some people run out. I'm like, I only record 1 day a week so far. Anyway.
Yeah, but
and thank you for reading the book. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's wonderful.
It's great. I guess like I'm my main question is career and the crossroads that I'm at. I quit my job a couple months ago.
Yay!
And I know.
Because you didn't even like it.
No, it was unhealthy. So.
Right? Yeah. A lot of people, I can't tell you when I look at the human realm, how many people work in industries and jobs that they don't even like the industry or the job. They don't believe in it. They don't have a passion for it. And they don't even like the people they work with. Like, so that, like, how fun is that every day, 8 hours a day? Like, yikes. So congratulations. Anyway, go ahead. And you want to know what to do next? Because I have some ideas.
Yeah, I do, because I've literally started a little book of like what if questions from your podcast, and I'm
could
like,
you make me finish my book, please? Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah, because I could use some insight of like, because I feel like everything applies to me after reading everything about you.
Yeah, I agree. So first of all, you're insanely intuitive. I just like the word insane. I don't know why I'm using it, but you're insanely intuitive. Cool. You love the multisensory world and spirituality and all of that. It like sings to you. You're not confused about it. You get it. It makes sense to you. So I think that you need to pursue a career path in the multisensory world, and I think that's where you're supposed to be. That's what I think.
Wow, that's cool.
Does it make you happy?
Yeah, I'm kind of. I guess my first reaction is like, wow. But I guess it's like, I guess it's my reaction to having read all that I have.
Yeah, but you get it. You know, like you love it. It makes sense to you. It sings to you, right?
Yeah.
So, and here's the most important aspect when it comes to finding a partner, a career, the next home to live in, buying your new favorite bike, a puppy, whatever the deal is. When you're manifesting and creating, you always want to follow joy. That's the yellow brick road. Joy, 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 joy. It's not logical. It doesn't make any sense. When I was stepping into this career path that I've had now for 20 years, my logical mind told me I was crazy. And so did all the people who were in my life at the time. Everyone said that about, to me and about me. But I was just bathed in joy. Every single time I read a book or laid hands on a client or whatever I was doing, I was filled in joy. And so I decided to follow the joy. And that's the yellow brick road. That is the flow into our magnificence, is following the path of joy. And it will not make any sense because it can't. Joy is not logical. It's an experience. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So make some what-if questions for that, okay?
Of following joy.
Well, and what if I easily follow my joy into my next incredible profession?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Have a great day in Seattle.
Thank you. Will do.
All righty.
Thanks, Ada, for joining us. 877-825-8828. Couple minutes left. We'll take now lucky Lainey. Lainey from San Francisco. Hi, Lainey.
Hi. How are you?
We're great. Thank you, Lainey. How are you? I love your name.
Okay, great. Well, we met on the cruise.
Oh, we
with
did?
Esther. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you look like?
I got my hair done on the ship, so it was straight and black, but it's actually curly. So we sat across from each other at dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly. And you were with the woman from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly. Amanda. Yay!
Good job, Marie. Good job, Marie.
Because I don't even remember clients. Like, they come to the door. I just saw you 2 months ago. Really? So what can I do for you, Lainey? And wasn't that the funnest cruise ever?
Oh, my God. It was so awesome. But I feel, to be totally transparent, I felt pretty scrambled after we got off. Like, it was.
You did?
It just reorganized everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
To get off and feel warm and fuzzy, but it really opened me up a lot.
I think it's hard to go from high energy, if it's something that we don't always allow ourselves to feel while you're on this cruise of a lot of high vibration, and then come off of that. That could be part of it too. Like you're in that, and then, kind of a thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what can I do for you?
Thank you so much for asking. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yay.
So I get the whole joy thing, and I own my own business.
I know.
And I love what I do. It's like my favorite thing on the planet. Like, I enjoy helping people.
Right.
And I try to take inspired actions. And I've had a lot of success in my business, but sometimes I feel like the money flow thing gets stifled.
Right.
And I'll have a lot of success, like I'll make thousands of dollars, and then I'll go through like a couple months where it feels kind of dry.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get more like constant wealth in my life so I don't have to take freak out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is change your relationship with money. So that means I want you to, before you open up your wallet, before you open up a bank statement, whether that's physical or online, before you do anything with money, I want you to stop yourself, literally stop yourself and shift your energy. You don't even have to think about money. I want you to think about something that makes you incredibly happy, because we want your energy to be elevated. Because you tend to lower your energy when you think about money, as a lot of people do, by the way. And then they're confused. Why don't I have more flowing resources, unlimited resources? And it's because your energy, when you relate to money, lowers. So, like, I love subatomic particles. Love them. They actually kind of look like sperm to me sometimes. So when I'm at the coffee shop and I'm about to open up my wallet, of course because I do everything that I teach, by the way. I stop myself, right? And I'll think of sperm floating around in my purse, subatomic particles, before I take out my credit card or cash or whatever. So I'm in joy about this beautiful subatomic particles as I'm handing my card. So I won't even sit down to pay bills, which of course most everybody does everything online, but there's always a few bills that sneak through, right? That we can't pay online. I don't even sit down to pay them until I'm happy. I'm in a high vibration. My energy's elevated. So it would be like if you had a dog or a cat, every time you went to go, if you were in a bad mood, every time you connected with them, that would not help the relationship. They would be angry at you. They wouldn't trust you. They would feel uncomfortable with you. But most people love their pets. So, oh, hi, Fifi. They're in a great mood as they open up a can of cat food. So it's the same thing. This will work very quickly for you because you understand the principles already. Now you just have to catch yourself and teach yourself to be in a different space. And I would also maybe not use the word money for about a year.
What do you mean?
Don't use the M word. Use resources, finances, wealth, abundance. Use a different word rather than the M word because it triggers you. Okay?
Okay, abundance or investment resources.
Sure.
Like that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then basically just like stopping before I buy something.
Yeah, be very mindful of your energy and don't engage with your wealth until your energy is and then connect with it beautifully and wonderfully. But don't do it when you're not in a good mood. I don't even before I look at a bank statement or pay a credit card online, I wait. I'm very conscious of where my vibrational energy is before I connect with that because I do want that to be happy and flowing and joyful. Why not? We all want that, and everyone can have that. We have enough abundance on the planet for everyone.
Okay, so then that's like the subconscious thing that I'm doing to block the flow.
Right.
Not like doing anything else weird?
No.
Like there's not like a past life where it's like a
No, and
if,
even if there was, it's not going to matter. Vibration trumps everything. Vibration trumps everything. Okay?
Well, I just wanted to tell you something really quickly. So
okay.
When we were at dinner that one night, I was sharing with you that sometimes I feel inspired, a little bit psychic myself, but not really.
Yeah.
And when I looked at you, I saw like 5 white birds flying around your shoulder.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever been told that before?
No, but I love birds. And white, I love birds. I mean, literally love them. And white is is like the energy from heaven, right? Oh.
There you go. And I've never seen that before.
Really?
So,
oh, thank you for telling me. That's just precious. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Marie.
You're welcome.
And I'll call back in a year. And
okay, yeah, I want to know. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'll probably see you on another Esther Hicks cruise ship sometime in the future.
For sure.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you. Have a great day in San Francisco. And for everyone who's listening, I'm going to be in Olympia on Sunday at the Goddess Festival. Okay, Lisa's trying to tell me the name. We've had commercials about it. It's on my website.
Gathering of Goddess.
Oh, the Gathering of the Goddess. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get there and hang out with all the goddesses in Olympia. You go to energyintuitive.com. It's on my website. If you want to hear more or learn more.
We ran the commercial, so
yeah. And I'm going to be talking about ascension, what it feels like as you expand your energy and move more into your God consciousness or goddess consciousness, what it feels like. And what's normal, because it's all normal, but we're going to be talking about that. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the show. Thank you, Benny and Lisa, for all your hard work.
And James Von Praagh.
And James.
Oh, my God. Amazing.
All right, everybody. Joyful blessings. Bye-bye.